Good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia. I'm the founder and CEO of GAR Capital. It is Wednesday, August 21st, 2024. Glad to be with you this morning, every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on our YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe our videos. Really do appreciate it. And turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Let's go ahead and get started. Dow futures are up 70 points this morning. NASDAQ is up 0.17%. S&P up 0.18%. And the Russell is up 0.58% after being the laggard yesterday, down about 1.11%. That was yesterday on Russell. Crude oil is up 0.42%, 73.48 a barrel. Gasoline futures, $2.24, down 0.39%. Gold futures are flat after hitting a new all-time high yesterday, 25.50 an ounce currently. 29.63 for silver futures at 0.38% to the upside. Copper is at $4.17, up 0.5%. In the Forex market, dollar yen bounced a little bit, 145.68. Bitcoin is flat, 59,730. The volatility index rejected 16 yesterday. It is now slightly below it, up 0.57%. The dollar index is flat after getting absolutely nuked yesterday, 101.40. That's the lowest in the last 52 weeks. 10-year treasury yields continue to fall, 3.803. Keep an eye on those mortgage rates as bond yields continue to fall. So yesterday was pretty flat. Now the question remains, will we have another flat day today? Let's go on Discord and take a look here. Earnings calendar, or this is where the economic data is. And today we have FOMC meeting minutes. I talked about that on the podcast yesterday. It's really just a meeting. It's a recalling of the last meeting that the FOMC had where we didn't have any rate increases or rate decreases at all. So maybe we'll get a little bit of a hint on future monetary policy. I think that's what the market is kind of looking for. But other than that, guys, pretty quiet. Target shares jumped 14% after boosting annual profit outlook. So some retailers did well. Macy's didn't do well. Macy's is down after missing their earnings. Let me see if I can get that headline here. Macy's retailer dropped more than 8% on a lowered full year sales forecast, yet Target jumped 14%. Ford is scrapping plans for an electric 3-row SUV, citing tough pricing pressures. Toll Brothers, which is a housing company that builds homes, like KB Homes, for example. Q3 earnings revenue beat, EPS beat. Homes delivered up 11%. The backlog is down 10% with momentum into August and more. That was from Benzinga. Another retailer, TJ Maxx, up 5%. They beat Q2 sales targets. So we saw Walmart beat and they went higher. Target as well. Amazon pulled back when they had their earnings. Home Depot pulled back when they had their earnings. So kind of a mixed bag. I guess different kind of talking points from each of the retailers. But pretty much the consistency is there that the consumer is still strong. We can see that with Target being a little more discretionary in terms of purchases than, let's just say, Walmart. But the grocery shopping for Target was actually strong, apparently. This was from the JPM desk this morning. Quote, yesterday marked the first time since November 2020 and only the 46th time since 1950 that the S&P 500 followed a 10-day loss of at least 6% with a 10-day gain of at least 8%. Quote, historically, rebounds like this are powerful. Average returns are nearly 20% 6 months later and 25% a year later. If you guys remember, July is not a time where markets peak. Markets rarely ever peak in July. You usually peak around November and December. So we still have more to go. Yes, we still have more upside. But yesterday's flat price action, Monday was nice. But I guess until the Fed meeting minutes today, I don't expect much action. So it's going to be more of watching paint dry in that sense. Good morning, everybody. Let's take a look at Qualcomm. Qualcomm looking for the break of 176.71. And once we do, we can retest this level of the breakout at around 180 to 182. So Qualcomm has been bouncing back. It bounced above the 200-day. It's above the 20-day, which is our momentum short-term indicator. So the semiconductors have done well. That's good news. And then Tesla. Oops, the wrong one. Tesla bouncing off this trend line, the channel. Remember the same old channel? We are green this morning on Tesla. I'm still looking for this gap fill here at 243. Let's see if we get above 236 and we can trade it because we have traded it already this week. So really didn't want to double dip there. But you still have a golden cross on Tesla. You're still above this channel. As long as we hold above 215, Tesla should fill this earnings gap relatively soon, based on the technicals is all. Let's take a look at Google. And Google is above its 20-day. Is slightly down this morning, and it's pretty much within this nice symmetrical channel that we are in. We need to get above at least 172.20, which is your 100-day, and then you can target the 176 if that's a strike, or maybe the 175s. What are your levels for NVIDIA? Good morning. All right, let's see the 4-hour chart. NVIDIA is bouncing here, holding up this right here, right around 125. So 125 we'll use as our support. This gap has been filled. If we break above 130.13, the idea is to target the 136s or 140s. Here's the problem. They report next week. So those premiums for next week will be juiced. The question is, if you're trading NVIDIA, then you have to go this week. Tough. But above 130, you can target 135 to 136. Amazon still has that gap to fill at 181.93. Above 183.50, we can target the 190 calls on Amazon. So Amazon will be on watch. Just get me above the 50-day right here. 185. What is it? 184.08. And then let's see. Apple. We still have this gap fill at 231.99. It was actually green yesterday. 226.70. That's green this morning. We still expect Apple to continue to run higher. Palo Alto Networks, they just reported earnings. You got this gap fill already. Now we're going to see if we break above 380.84. That's your all-time highs. Do you think SPY will hit 600 by the end of the year? That really depends on a couple of factors. One, if the Fed cuts, and if they cut as soon as possible. And two, anything that happens geopolitically. I mean, I think we are on the path to get to 600 SPY. Yes. But anything can happen in the Middle East. Anything can happen in regards to Russia, Ukraine. Anything can happen in the end of the world, at any part of the world, conflict-wise. And then you have the Federal Reserve that is notorious for being slow and being behind the curve, that might wait too long to cut rates. That's a risk, but there's always a risk. So do I think SPY continues to go higher to 600? Yes. By the end of the year? Yes. The problem I have, well, really is we don't know what to expect in terms of what is possible. And that could end everything really, really quick and get us back down to 520 to 500 really, really fast. We saw how fast that could happen. Thoughts on Meta? All right, let's take a look and see if we want to trade this thing. Got to get above 542, 543, let's say it. 543. And if we get above there, see this trend line here? We can go ahead and do this as a channel. Oops, darn. Let's see if I can redo this trend line. All right, now we broke below it, but again, you're still kind of within this channel here. You could do one or two of them. You could do this one if you wanted, but if we're just going to use this one, you got until maybe 600. Yep, 597 would be the next 12-month target on Meta if you get above 543. IWM. IWM had a bad day yesterday, pulled back, but it is above the 20-day, and now it's pushing higher. IWM needs to get above 216.20, and then we can target the 220 calls if we wanted to trade that again. We traded IWM on Monday, and we got it, thank God, because we had that ugly pullback. I'm going to place an alert again, 216.26. If that happens, keep an eye on the 220s. You guys are on fire. Thank you guys for the questions. So again, pretty quiet overnight. Not much happened. So we're just going to have to wait and see. It doesn't feel like a morning note. Felt more like a morning post-it. So, but thank you guys for the questions. Obviously, it helps everyone else. So we'll see what we get today. Again, I don't have tons of expectations. 2 p.m. is the Fed meeting minutes. We'll see what happens there. We'll keep an eye on the VIX, keep an eye on the dollar, and we'll keep an eye on small caps as well and see if we get a break. Have a great rest of your morning. I will see you guys on the Discord server. Cheers, all.